the little piggy and the turkey and the chicken.
Keep going, Eric.
Hello, my name's Eric Engartner, and I just wanted to ask you a couple of simple questions. Have you ever wanted to make a healthy change in yourself or the world around you? Have you ever considered cutting meat out of your diet to some degree? Well, it's putting a burden on the planet and your health, and I'm going to tell you how it is and how you can fix it. It's an underlying problem in America that doesn't really get talked about, and it really should. Why am I qualified to tell you about this? Well, I've been an animal lover my whole life, and I lost 50 pounds over the last 3 years because I, well, for one, exercised a lot and cut meat out of my diet to a large extent, and that really helped see the result in what you see on the screen. And so, to go on to some of these reasons as to why you should not eat meat. People think meat is really good for you, which it is, but people eat way too much of it. According to Dr. Joseph Mercola, from his own website, America's problem with obesity has a direct correlation to the amount of meat we consume. And that goes back to American foods and what those are, like really meat-heavy products like hamburgers, ribs, wings, and things of the like. It's great in moderation, just it's very bad if you eat a ton of it, and on top of that it's loaded with synthetic substances from pesticides in animals' diet that you don't really need. It also relates to a lot of diseases. Like processed meats increase the risk of cancer over time and can lead to clogged arteries. And according to Monica Nicholsberg of the Week, E. coli, H1N1, salmonella, mad cow, and many of the other diseases you see on the screen here are all a result of factory farms and living in tight living quarters like chickens and other animals do. And like I was just saying, cruelty and this almost prison-like nature of factory farms is far from the old McDonald vision you get in your head when you may think of a farm as like, you know, back in your preschool memory. But they're nowhere near like that anymore. I can make a whole speech about this alone, but just imagine any abuse that can happen to a farm animal. It more than likely probably happens in factory farms. So do with that what you will. But this not only makes an impact on biological beings, but on the planet as a whole too. It puts a strain on our environments more than planes, trains, and automobiles. Yeah. And it takes just the amount of steak to make. It takes the same amount of water to create 1 kilogram of steak that does to create 20 kilograms of cereal, for example. And according to Laura Wellesley of BBC.com, governments can do very little to stop it. Interfering with people's personal diet decisions is kind of touchy, and there isn't a lot of backlash against it. So they're not really pressured to do anything, and us as America, we are one of those powerhouse countries that we can't be leaders by example, and we need to start making this gradual change to a more vegan-friendly society. And how do you stop all this? You stop by, well, not eating meat a whole lot. You can take a step further and you can go vegan or vegetarian or any other kind of Aryan where you don't eat meat or anything of the like. 15% of your diet should be meat, but some people take that way over, and that leads to a whole lot of problems involving your obesity and the environment and cruelty, like I was saying. But almost as important is to advocate, try to encourage people to do free range. You need to, tell your peers, make petitions, talk about it on social media. You need to lead by example. Don't order 5 buckets of wings for a Super Bowl party. It's a bad example for everyone, and you're trying to tell people that you should stay meatless. And it has to be a large-scale effort. Every single person counts, every meal counts. So if you're questioning whether I should do this or not because, what's one state? They're going to kill the cow anyway. Well, that builds up over time. You're going to save cows upon cows in the process of your lifetime if you keep, with the habit of, staying the course of being vegan or going meatless on to an extent. Like, I like the program Meatless Monday. Of course, just in the name, you don't eat meat on Mondays. But just imagine a world where all these problems I talked about, they just don't seem to matter, they won't seem to matter anymore. And for that, you need to gain momentum in this movement. Similar thing to what Bernie Sanders kind of did in this past election. But like a year ago, he only had a couple hundred people at his events. Now he has tens of thousands. That's incredible, and I feel like that change is spread out over a larger period of time. That can, I think, impact the meat industry in some way. And how it impacts it is supply and demand. The less you buy, that tells the meat companies don't slaughter so much, the more animals are saved in the process. And yeah, it's this whole thing, going meatless, or other programs like where you shouldn't eat meat and be vegan, it's not for everybody. I tried going vegetarian, it's hard. So just eating a whole lot less meat, it's a pretty simple thing to do if you really set your mind to it. Just about commitment, and just stay with that, and I feel like you'll come out a much better person. And so in order to end such things like obesity, disease, climate change, and cruelty on factory farms, you need to eat less meat and try to make a conscious effort to eat organic or free-range animals. If you can do this, you can create a cleaner world that for yourself, everyone in it, and everything living in it. If we can create a national stigma that McDonald's is unhealthy, we can make some sort of impact in the meat industry. It'll not be easy, but if we make a conscious effort to eat less meat, we can make a real difference to not only ourselves and the world at large. It'll be a large scale effort, but every single person counts. What legacy do you want to leave behind? One where you were part of the problem, or one where you stood up to the injustice taking place? Thank you for coming, and to all you on Blackboard for watching.